What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Just wanted to stop in here real quick. Somebody said these lives really kind of helped them through their day, so I just wanted to come on here real quick. That squirt. What's up? What's up, Wombats? Hey, sorry I've been on here so much lately, but somebody was like, man, your lives, I just throw them on when I'm driving and it gets me kind of through the day. So I figured, you know what, I had something to talk about. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of that. What's up, Harry? What's up, Edgar? I am out here in Denton, Texas. Damn, Slime Pack, are you driving at all? I'm in Denton, Texas. I-35 exit 471. Just delivered at this cold storage out here. Let me see what the name of this place is, because it is one of the best places I've delivered to. It is called, brand new place. Okay, it's called Southwest Cold Storage. So it's really not on a lot of these maps and stuff yet, but there, when you get off on 471, you got a Love's on one side, a Blue Beacon on the other side, and then behind that Blue Beacon, what's up, K-Mac, there's this cold storage place. My appointment was at 1:45 or 13:45. I called them at about 9 a.m. and I said, hey, what's your policy on arriving there for an appointment? And she's like, are you late or anything like that? I said, no, I have an appointment at 1 p.m. or 13:45. And she's like, oh, you could check in whenever you want. We may not be able to get to you till later. But I was like, all right, boom. So I was at the Love's, like right down the street, like within a mile. Drove down there, checked in at 9:30, and then I was out of there by 10:45. So left there, went to the Blue Beacon right down the street, which is right here. And then while I was in line at the Blue Beacon, got another load. Load is picking up in Dallas. It's a drop and hook. Can pick it up anytime between 6 p.m. and I think, let me see, 6 p.m. and then 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm going to leave out of here about midnight just to let that Dallas traffic calm down, go pick up the load, and then head to Denver. So really the way it shook out, right, is I turned down the load going to New Jersey that was paying $4,100, and then that was going to deliver on Sunday. So now I replaced that with a load that's going to deliver on Monday, or two loads that are going to deliver on Monday, and the profit on that's going to be about $3,100 a day later. Zero headaches, and I'm good with that trade-off right there. Don't have to worry about no washouts, tolls, cheap freight coming out of there, none of that. So I'm good to go as far as that goes. I'm happy with my decision not to take that load. Let's see. Let me get through these comments before I get in here. Harry, first live I caught. I usually stream during my drive. A good handful of times you pull them down midstream. Hey, sometimes I might say some stuff that I'm not sure that, people want to hear in terms of, in terms of the company goes. Good thing you didn't take the load to New Jersey. The weather up here is horrible. All right, that even makes things better for me. Highway of Truth. Tommy Unfiltered. Just got off the phone with him yesterday. He's out there running for a small carrier. Did a lease purchase out there. His truck will be paid off in 3 more payments. That's good. Slime Pack just arrived at their 01 in Iowa. Iowa has some good freight coming out of there. If you're ever in Iowa, ask for a load going to Denver. Those loads from Iowa to Denver pay like $3 and some change. So that's a lot of times, if I'm in that area, that's my home load. That's why I know about that one so much. Somebody's cracking on me saying it takes an iPad to see my whole face. Hey, I don't know about that. I did make a lot of money last week. I ain't gonna throw it. I mean, hey, it was a killer week. I'm just gonna tell you that right there. And I still got a truck payment. It was one of them weeks where it was like, you know, very delicious. Romaine, what is up? You getting that new technology down there in Springfield yet? I got my appointment December 10th, which would be my 5th anniversary of leasing at Prime. I picked up my first lease at Prime in December 10th of 2019. All right, motherfucker. If you're gonna, all right, let's see. Slime Pack ain't going to Denver. Hey, Slime Pack, them loads coming out. You may not pick up a load. Listen, if you're ever in Denver, you don't want a load coming out of Denver. You want to, well, there's a couple that are close by. One in Fort Morgan is decent, but the other one in like Greeley, that is a horrible shipper to deal with. Mr. No Nice 24 Prime teams up with Trans Am. I brought that breaking news before it broke, but then I realized I wasn't supposed to break it, so I took that video down. So I heard that like long before it got out there, and I actually did a video on it, but I was like, listen, because the person that sent me the information, which is somebody that should know, told me, but don't talk about it yet. I was like midstream, so I had to cut off my stream right then. So this is about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. So anyway, what I want to talk about is there is a difference between knowing and understanding. So I could think of 3 times when this comes into effect. The logs department would be one. Now there's a number of different ones, but a lot of what I want to talk about now is when they say, just drive 8.5 hours and you'll never run out of hours. Now, they know that makes sense, but that's if you're completely running balls out. All you're doing is picking up, driving, but that is never practically what's going to happen. At least at our company, you're never just going to run back to back to back to back. So if you were running coast to coast, then that makes sense, possibly. But mathematics says it's going to take the same amount of hours to deliver the same load, no matter how you break that shit up. No, I'm not going to do that for no $17. So anyway, I think logs actually knows logs, so they have knowledge of the logs, but they don't understand what is actually practical out here. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I just spoke with the driver at Prime. Let me see. Harry, I just ran flatbed at Prime as a company driver, ran me hard, and a few times I had to shut down for a 34 because I ran out of time. If you're running like those, if you happen to be one of the few that are just running balls out, then that's a different situation. If all your loads are going cross country or whatever, then that's totally different. But practically, and how I understood this the first time, because I fell for it, was I tried to run myself out of hours to get a 34, and I could not fucking do it. Every time I thought I was about to get there, my fleet manager was sending me a load with just enough time to do what I could get to the shipper and get the load, and then by the time I got there, it was midnight, and then I was getting more hours back, and then I had all these strong recaps or whatever it was. I tried to do it, and I couldn't do it. And that's when I realized, you know what? A good fleet manager is going to match hours with time. Like last night, I ended my shift with 31 minutes on my 70. Midnight came, got like 10 hours or whatever it was back. delivered this load at 07, and now I have
7 hours and 7 minutes of remaining drive time.
8:55 on my 70. And then my recaps are so strong, I don't really even have to worry about running out of time or anything. So, all right, let's see. Harry, how are you? I wish the best. How can I get in contact? I think in this video, if you go down to the comments section, or not comments, but if you go down to the description, there's an email address in there. Just email me your phone number. I'll give you a call. And if it's not down there, email is nohippibbq@gmail.com. All right, so anyway, that's the difference between practical and actually knowing. So they know what makes sense, but they don't know how it applies in a practical application. Second or third thing is fleet managers. Just talked to a guy, and he was telling his fleet manager, hey, if I don't have a pre-plan, he could deliver it as early as midnight. But he said, hey, if I don't have a pre-plan, I'm not delivering this load at midnight. The fleet manager came back and said, well, if you deliver it at midnight, then you'll be the first in the queue to get another load or something like that. Well, fleet managers don't understand exactly. Some of them do because they've been driving, but the majority don't. But they don't understand. Deliver at midnight in the wrong area. Some areas you could do it. Now you're having to worry about parking. So the guy that I was talking to said, I'll deliver at 5 in the morning so you don't have to worry about parking or anything like that. Fleet managers understand what may practically make sense, but they don't understand what we actually go through out here. Next thing, hold on a second, let me get in here, because sometimes these comments slow down. The next thing is safety department. Hold on just a second. All right, safety department. It's easy to say, if the weather gets bad, shut down. You know what? How practical is that? If it was that fucking easy, don't you think everybody, when they're shitting their pants out here, slipping and sliding over the place, would just shut it down? It's not that fucking simple. There's not always places to shut down. It's easy to say shut down when, you're chilling out, doing what you're doing. But practically speaking, a lot of times you just can't shut down. It's not like you can just say, I'm shutting down, and you snap your fingers and automatically, oh, there's a truck stop there with parking to shut down it. So there's a difference between knowing and understanding. And that's a big frustration. And I'm just mentioning it because I'm the one that has the channel, but this is something that I hear all the time. It's not just that I'm bringing this up. These are conversations I have with people. Or it could be, and this has not ever been a problem with me. This has not been a problem with me. But I talk to people and they're like trying to get on home time. And I understand that, fleet managers get paid on revenue and all that kind of stuff. But, practically speaking, if you deliver a load that's within a certain miles of your home time, you should be able to drop that load and get home. What they don't understand, well, they probably do understand this one, is the chances of actually getting that load fast enough to actually get home may not actually happen. So that is one of my biggest things in trucking, is that I think that a lot of people that are giving advice without the actual understanding of what actually happens out here in the industry. And if I'm wrong, please put in the comments, I'm wrong, because I will eat that one if I'm wrong. Uh, John, I've heard a few different things. One was, what you're talking. It was. I've heard a couple different things. I'm just gonna say what I've heard from the horse's mouth, rather than what I've actually heard outside of the horse's mouth. Is that they're coming on? What's been put out there is they're coming on as power only, and pulling some of our freight, and we're getting some of their freight, and that right there. Roger Greenlee, 30 minutes on a 70 is one traffic stop away from a violation. Absolutely agree. So, anyway, that's kind of really my main thing of coming on here is I had a couple conversations with people, and it made me think about some of these things. The log thing I've been thinking about for a while, because I was actually in a logs class where they were talking about that driving 8.5 hours and all that stuff, and to me that just does not make sense. Tell me if I'm like, the load's gonna take as long as the load's gonna take. It doesn't matter how you break that shit up or anything like that. It's gonna take as long as it's gonna take. Do I want to get there and really relax, or do I want to get there with a half a clock? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never said I was the smartest driver. I just said that I do what works for me. So this will be another time I go into Denver. I don't think I've ever gone to Denver this many times. Ever. I don't know if they were trying to avoid sending people to Denver, and then they realized, oh, just because he's in Denver, he's not going to take time off. I will take time off if they send me out to Denver and try to get me to take some bullshit load off the yard for 9 miles. Then I will take some time off. But that, typically, I'm not going to take time off. If I get in Denver, I'm going to deliver it and get out. Even though I live there. So, that is that. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but I do have an appointment set. Oh, I did think I mentioned it. Those of you guys just came in, I have an appointment set for December 10th to get my new technology in my truck. And then I'm just going to get brand new batteries. I don't think they need it, but I'm just getting everything done now, so I don't have to worry about it. Plus, the end of the year, tax write-offs, all that. Batteries done. And then I told him about a new, or to put a deer guard on this truck. I still may or may not do that. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that or not. All right, let's see. All right, so we're catching up there. Six Semper Tyrannus. How long do I plan on staying out now that I'm a single truck operation? After January, I'm probably going to go back to like 5 weeks and then like 11 days or 2 weeks or something like that. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But I'm waiting until January because I don't want to go back until my title is ready for this truck. Because I want to just take all that time now. I'm going to take off like 21 days when that happens. And then get back out. But shit, hey, we killed it this week. I'm going to tell you right now, it was a killer week this week. I mean, it was like one of the bigger weeks I've had here. Hey, I understand you can't stay out that long. Hey, I just got to, to me, taking a week off. I mean, a week is all, like, I can't really get a good shit in a week. So I got to, if it takes me to be out like even 3 weeks, like what would I need to do 3 weeks? If I took 3 weeks, if I went out 3 weeks, I could maybe take a week or 5 days or something like that off. It's just not, the payoff just isn't there. Now, hey, listen, this check right here, $2,900 to my bank account, $1,000 to my emergency, $1,100 to my emergency fund, and $25 to my comm data card. So that's $4,000 cash, like to me, this week. Now, some of that was, you know, I mentioned in the last video, when I mentioned that it was probably going to be a killer week. I didn't know it was going to be this big, but I did come off a home time with a full tank of fuel, or not full, half tank of fuel, so that got to be factored in. And then I got like $368 worth of detention that came in. So no matter how you break it down, $4,000 to the house is with a truck payment. Now, if I didn't have a truck payment, add another $1,000 to that, $1,100 to that. There's gonna be somebody that's out. I don't normally do this shit. I'm just saying it because somebody, you know, there's people out there asking about people putting on the glass. I did. If you aren't familiar with Prime, or if you're not at Prime, you can do what is called a macro 33. And a macro 33 will, in essence, just break down your settlement. It'll break down your settlement into a smaller, like that. Well, you won't be able to see it, but it'll break down your settlement. It doesn't matter. It'll break down your settlement like that. And basically what it says was revenue was $57.28. So some of that was detention from last week. But then wait, I actually had a $319 negative going into this. So my detention almost offset my negative balance because I was home for that period of time. So yeah, $2,958.51 to my checking account, $25 on my comm data card, and then $1,100 in my emergency fund. So I can't. This week will not be that great, but it will probably still be an average week. Edgar is home. Let's see, Edgar, hey, home on Friday, Saturday. That is beautiful. If I lived in a different area, I might even look at things like that. Midlife Trucker says a couple guys on YouTube said Hirschbach is where it's at. Well, right there. I know who you're talking about. That paycheck right there is what those two got paid together probably this week. It's an abnormal week, but still, would I even think about teaming? Like, I would not think about teaming or training if I was not bringing in $4,000 a week. It just doesn't make, like, everybody does what they want to do, and I understand that. And I am the one that's not about the money, which is why I turned down that monster load that I was just going somewhere I didn't want to go. I just want to make decent money, all that kind of stuff, but there is no way I'm teaming for less than $4,000 a week. Period. And even if I was happy at a different company, the only reason I even brought them up, and it wasn't even like I didn't mention their name, was that when they started throwing around Prime in the mix, then I felt like I had to stand up. Because even with the truck payment, so I'm not even at the point where I have the truck paid off. You know, what they're talking about is nothing I would be bragging about. Period. But wherever you're happy is where you're happy. There are tons of people out there making more money than a lot of people, and if you're happy where you're at, then that's where you should be. I'm never going to talk down on anybody because I'm making X amount of money or, you know, whatever. I could probably go somewhere else and make more money. This right here is what I'm familiar with, is what I like, and I'm never going to say that Prime is better than anywhere else. I will say that Prime probably has the best lease purchase program out there. That is, and let me qualify this. In terms of mega carriers, there may be something out there that's less, but to buy a truck in 3 years, I think I was going to look at this contract and put like the fine points of that contract out here, but to buy a truck in 3 years, have it paid off at a price that you may not even be able to go to the dealership and get, I just don't see much being better. Now, as a team, I would not suggest lease purchasing as a team. So, Midlife Trucker, that's one thing I think that they did right at Hirschbach was not, well, they still did a lease purchase, but buying it out at the end. Like, I would never lease purchase this truck and run it full 36 months as a team. Why? As soon as I pay off a truck at Prime on the running team loads, I'm gonna have what? Let's even just say you're just running 160,000 miles a year. 160, which is low, times 3. I'm paying off the truck. It has like 500,000 miles on it. Like, the real market value on that truck is not going to be much more than, let's even say, 60 grand. You know, your lease payout on that thing is probably going to be, running teams, probably 30 grand. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but I don't know if I'd want to be driving something with that many miles on it as a team, because you're just, I don't know. Anyway, longest I ever stayed out was just under 8 months. That is way I didn't even do that. Edgar, Laredo, Texas. Hey, that's where I wanted my last load to go, was Laredo, Texas. I'm beginning to love Laredo, Texas. I'm at Martin Transport, and they switched to a platform science tablet and a smart drive camera system. I'm so fucking tired of these goddamn cameras. Okay. I had someone say that my pay videos aren't clear enough, though I'm hiding. I've looked at them videos, and it seems like you're pretty damn forward as far as what you're doing. You actually, there's very few people that hit the right company for them to begin with, and that is a perfect company for you. The other company is my boy Sean in Pennsylvania, that's hauling horses out there, got a CDL, didn't go through none of the bullshit that most people need to go through, and he's out there hauling horses. Perfect situation for him. Romeo is burning. What's up? Midlife Trucker, I'm going home but deliver in Laredo, Texas on Tuesday. Man, some of the shit you deal with in Laredo is like a little bit much, but as a whole, man, I'm telling you, in the winter, if you get a load going to Laredo, Texas, you basically burn up like a week a time. You spend a week, like let's say you're in a bad area where there's snow. It's going to take you a week, well, maybe not a week. Let's say 4 days to get down to Laredo. Let's say 3. And then you deliver your load. Then it's going to be about another 3 days to get back. Maybe 4 days to get even close to bad weather. You're like buying like 9-10 days of good weather just delivering down there. Love that shit. Myth Leather Company. What's